fucking won the Hooglandia Open. I don't know, 9-1 I think. Grudge match with Winota in the final. There's my setup. Brand new computer down there. Ooh, that was exciting.
Alright, so you're probably wondering about the title of this video. I'm giving away my winnings? Yes, I am. $125 in store credit to Cool Stuff Inc. More information at the end of the video. I'll tell you what you gotta do. Thanks. So that first clip was me right after winning the tourney, filled with adrenaline, free Red Bulls, going crazy. You know, it was 8 a.m. wake up for an 8:30 check-in, 10 a.m. start, and then I finished at about 9 p.m. I also spent the previous 12 hours the day before from like 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. practicing and tuning the deck. So I was on 4 hours of sleep, super hyped up on adrenaline. It was insane. The images now on the screen are the final attack to win it all. In the middle are the standings, the final victory screen, per round, my wins per round, and then the one loss, and then my 2 buys, and then into the finals. That third picture is Kevin I cheesing hard on FaceTime after I called him after winning. It was great. The next couple of clips are of actual gameplay. The full finals video can be found in the description with a link to Jeff Hoogland's video. And huge shout out to Jeff Hoogland for a great tournament and being a great streamer. Feature match here at the bottom of the screen name Arctorius 2. I was on the draw for every match during this tournament except one. I did go 6-1 against Winota mirrors throughout the day. My finals opponent actually gave me my first loss during the 9th round. I was 8-0 until then. I lost, but it being double elimination, I technically won the winner's bracket, being undefeated the longest. So 5 people remaining at 8-1. Those 4 duked it out, and the winner of those 4 then goes on to play me in the finals. This is game 1, about halfway through, closer to the end of the game, and we'll see what happens.
Hold them though. We're done.
All right.
They get the place
All right.
right
18, 8. They bottomed 12 misses, and they've got 18 more shots here, Matthew.
Let's see. I bet they hit at least once.
All right. Survey says. Woo! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! How unlucky!
No block.
Whew. Well then, yep, no blocks. Go to 3. All right, now I'm gonna do it. Now play your ziggurat. All right, triggers. Esports ready, chat. Naya Winota is esports ready. All right, that's not very good. That's not very good. All right, there we go. See, this is why Zach on the bottom was our last undefeated Winota player. If you want to be the last undefeated Winota player, you gotta hit like this, chat. This is what I'm talking about. The old -99. -99. You love to see it.
It's great.
I feel like that's a good PSA for people. There were a lot of people talking about they couldn't figure out why that was happening to them, and I had never had it happen to me. Turns out it only happens when you mess up.
Do you actually like both these games? Like the hand on the top?
Do I like both these hands? I am not a huge fan of the keep on the top from Krost. I think Zach's hand is super serviceable.
Yeah, I do as well. This is gonna work out. Alright. Fauna.
I think you actually just Vanguard here. I would Vanguard and then War Boss to try and maximize my chances to draw a Winota naturally.
That's fair.
Did you see how Zach ran last game? He's gonna draw the Winota. They're gonna draw the Winota, Matthew. Play the Vanguard.
Yeah, like you also kind of want to play around Stomp if you can, I guess.
When we were kicking around names for this Naya Winota deck while we were brewing it on stream, Naya Slot Machine was definitely something that's come up.
Yeah.
You have Hacktos, which is a gambling mechanic. You have Naya, which is a gambling mechanic.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Here's a question for people in chat. When was the last time a Naya deck was tier 1?
God, I don't know if there's ever been one.
Feather was like close-ish, like not really. Feather was competitive.
Yeah.
Do you have to go all the way back to Naya Blitz in original RTR standard to get a tier 1 Naya deck?
Sorry, never played that. Doesn't exist.
Naya Blitz was definitely a tier 1 deck.
This must have been awful.
There was a pod deck. Naya Blitz was post-pod, though, I believe.
Nice for Ken Melee's good.
Yeah, Zach continuing to shock with stomping grounds rather than play Rootbound Crag is an interesting decision. Remember when Wild the Coddle was banned in Modern? I do.
God, that's when I first started playing Modern.
Too strong.
Well, alright.
And Krost suddenly very far ahead up top here.
Here comes Winota off the top.
So we get to play the Shaman.
Oh.
I guess we're not that far. We get to play the Shaman and stomp. Actually, I lied. Zach's out of the bottom. We get to play the Shaman, stomp the War Boss, and the next turn we Shaman into a Winota and Winota.
Yep. Boy, that's good.
Health total advantage that Krost has, though, is relevant because both players have Adanto Vanguards, though.
Yeah, kind of.
Why did we not block the 1/1? What are we playing around there?
Don't know.
Nothing, right?
I think so. Another Shaman. Wow.
Winota doesn't have any single hit that
No,
really
we should
drags
wait.
you kicking and screaming out of here, right?
I would say we should wait here, right? Unless there's something I'm missing.
I almost wonder if I feel like they should have gone Shock in the Land, play Collector, play second Fauna Shaman this turn,
That's what I was
and
thinking.
then you set up a good defense, and then next turn you find the Winota and attack them.
That's actually what I thought was going to be the line there.
And the fact that we didn't eat the 1/1 for free here is a decision that can snowball on us too.
Yeah, this is really bad.
I feel like Aratoris had the tools to win this game here, and if they don't,
Well, it's just a brick. Like,
yeah, it's another
we're
brick.
certainly getting out of this turn alive.
So like they can send in the idiots. They have the ability to Vanguard to protect themselves. Yeah, Zach might get bailed out here. Especially if like Zach rips a haste creature next turn, 3 Winota triggers is very likely.
I mean, and he's got the Legion Warboss hanging out on the bottom.
Oh, he has a haste creature. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're super right. Has it rolled up already? So if the top attacks with everything, we get to go eat, block, a 3/3. I guess you attack with everything, so you eat the War Boss, trade Vanguards, go to 1, and then
Yeah.
you have to hope that your Legion War Boss and your Fauna Shaman with Winota kills them.
Yep. It's tough sledding, but I mean... Alright. This is 6 exactly if you block just the Warboss, so can't do that. It's actually 7.
Yep. So you gotta do this. Go to 2. And you're hoping, and actually, the going to 16 there is going to make it easier for these Winota triggers to kill them. So I'm not sure that I love that line.
Yeah, I think you gotta let it go.
So you go War Boss, make your token, attack with everything, get 2 triggers. Marauder is lethal.
Actually, I guess it's gonna sound a little greedy. Are they able to do this plus play Shaman and stay alive? Is that something you want to do?
Nah, I just talk about Marauders. You got 12 shots. Hit me, dealer. See, Matthew, they were the last.
Easy game.
They were the last undefeated Winota player.
Easiest game of my life.
Easiest game they've ever played. Love it. You just gotta believe. Negative 44. You just gotta believe. And just like that, heads explode, and a Nio Winota player is born a champion.
All right. Well, congratulations. That was good. That was fun.
And just like that, that's how I won the Hooglandia Historic Open. It was a great tournament. I had a ton of fun. I want to shout out a couple people. Kevin, my buddy, for helping me test. Charles Bachelet, my other buddy from Stomping Grounds, helping me test. And Stomping Grounds itself over the last 3 years for giving me a place to play F&M and meeting other great players. And now for how you, the viewer, can win my winnings from the Hooglandia Open, the $125 store credit to CoolStuffInc.com. All you have to do is like the video, comment on the video, and sub. I'll be choosing a comment, checking that they've done those other 2 things at the end of June, and I'll reach out to you on YouTube. Welcome back. I'm Zach.
And I'm Kev, and welcome back to another episode of Greedy Magic, where we... Wait, what's that? Oh, it's a deck tech?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Welcome back, everyone, to the deck tech for Zach's win with Winota in the Hooglandia Open. Zach, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Kev. So, this is the deck that I took to win. I'm just going to go through all the cards here. Yumori is a free roll. It's named creatures, and the deck works just like that. So it's a free creature card. Also reduces the cost of the creature, which is really only relevant later in the game when you get a Mori down, and you can either get, say, Legion Warboss down for 1 cheaper, or Angrath's Marauders that's been stuck in your hand down for 1 cheaper. So, I barely played it in games, but it's useful to have, and if it fits without having to change the deck, awesome. So, next is Llanowar Elves right there. Easy include, ramps you up. Adanto Vanguard is one of the quintessential 2-drops here. Basically, it survives Wraths. So if you load up your board, your opponent was on the play, however, and got to 4 mana first, they Wrath your board. You go, alright, I lose my Legion Warboss and my Llanowar, but I have my Vanguard for a trigger for the following turn with Winota. Fauna Shaman. What's that?
So it is pretty safe then.
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to have a non-human attacker, even for Wrath. So that's pretty cool. Fauna Shaman down below. Jeff's original list had 3. Original list has 0. And then the day before the tournament, he played a variant with 2 or 3, and then his website was updated with 3. I thought a 4th was an auto-include. When the whole deck revolves around swinging with Winota on the field, it's probably important to get Winota on the field. So the 4th Shaman...
It is called Winota after all. Like Win-Oda.
Yeah. You basically win with Winota, exactly. Going on right next to it, Bone Crusher Giant. Kind of self-explanatory, but you get a body for a 4/3 for 3, and you get removal in a deck that obviously lacks any spell-based removal at all. It's only useful in the early games, but sometimes that's what you want to do. Below it, Legion Warboss, which outside of the big fatty humans at the top end, I think Legion Warboss is the next most important card next to Winota. It creates another non-human attacker, and then if that one gets through, say they don't have any blockers the turn you play it, the following turn, that one card has turned into 3 non-human attackers. So that's pretty important in my opinion. Just a great card, reminiscent of, what was that card called, Kev? Goblin Rabblemaster?
Goblin Rabblemaster. I mean, Krenko is pretty similar as well, but Krenko wouldn't work as well.
No, Goblin Rabblemaster I think was the older variant. Kind of like Warboss, but Rabblemaster gains power for all attacking goblins. But that's not in Historic. So below Legion Warboss here is Phoenix of Ash. This is 2 of my 3 flex spots here. In Jeff's original Winota deck list, he had Gruul Spellbreaker here. And basically, my thought process was, alright, do I want a 3/3 haste, hexproof on my turn? That could maybe be a 4/4. Or do I want a 2/2 haste flyer? I obviously ended up liking the flying more. The evasion, I think, was a little bit more important, where sometimes you need to get one trigger off Winota and you swing your dork in. Roll Spellbreaker can be killed just by a bigger guy. Phoenix of Ash has built-in flying, so built-in evasion, so a lot of times it does survive until that next turn where you can get that really big Winota hit. Yeah.
Now, it does have escape, so it is pretty safe
Yes,
against
it does.
rats as well, right?
Yes, and it escapes with a 1/1 counter. And whenever it's on the field, you can, I think it's pay 3 mana, red, any for +2/+0, which that sounds pretty good to me. So
I completely forgot on that too. Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I also thought about Hanged Executioner due to it creates 2 bodies, and then the main body, obviously, you can sacrifice it to exile another creature, but I ended up just going with Phoenix of Ash. Right next to it is the namesake card, Winota, Joiner of Forces. What a card. When this was spoiled in Ikoria, it was a mythic. People paid attention to it, didn't really think it was going to be some groundbreaking card. Right after Ikoria came out, I did test a little bit with it in Standard in the Jeskai variant. That plays a Boreal Grazer, focuses more on Agent of Treachery and Kenrith at the top end, and it just felt weak. This is where Kev came in trying to help me test with this deck. We ported it straight to Historic, and it was just weak. It's either you got Winota with Dorks on the board and won, or you didn't. Versus this variant where, like, Legion Warboss, 3 Legion Warbosses in a row, like,
That's disgusting.
that can just win. Adanto Vanguard, that can just win. Fauna Shaman, that can go and grab Winota, Angrath's Marauders, Haktos, Agent Treachery, Legion Warboss if you need a hasty guy. So the deck kind of still works without Winota. It's obviously not as powerful, but it has staying power.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I was going to say, I think that's one of the most important parts for when you don't go up against mirror aggro matches.
Yeah, just being able to play your deck anyway, even if the humans player in Historic Meddling Mage is Winota. Like, alright, nice 2/2 Meddling Mage, here's my 5 Legion Warbosses and Phoenix of Ashes coming crashing in anyway.
Exactly. Or if you go up against counter decks and, like, all your stuff's getting countered. I mean, just having a deck that can still win without those combo pieces that they're saving all their counters for, I think that's really valuable.
In fact, in the tournament, I was going up against a mono blue deck, and I had 2 Legion Warbosses and a Winota in hand. So I didn't know how many counters they had in their hand, but they did not have a Curious Obsession on their Siren Storm Tamer. So I was like, alright, there's a limited amount of counters that you have, and you're not drawing extra cards per turn. I'm going to throw it at your face. It's up to you to counter it. So I went Legion Warboss, he countered that. Legion Warboss, he countered that. Winota, no counter, but I had no non-humans on the field. Next turn, Legion Warboss swung in, won. So it's pretty good.
What'd you get off of it?
Against them, I think it was just the Marauders. I just swang and smacked them for big.
I mean, yeah, that's
That
still
usually works.
disgusting though.
Yeah,
no matter
it
what
usually
you grab,
works.
this deck is great.
Yeah, so on to the last 3 cards here. Haktos, Agent of Treachery, and Angrath's Marauders. So these are the 3 cards that when Winota triggers off of a non-human swinging with it on the field, Winota looks 6 deep for each of those triggers and finds a human creature. So it can either find Haktos, Angrath, or Agent. So we will start with Haktos here, 4 of, same as Jeff's list. Basically, you want it to roll on the right number. It can roll on 2, 3, or 4, and say it rolls on 3 against a Wrath deck. Well, it has protection from everything but 3, so it's going to survive a Wrath. And say, like in the mirror, if you get a Haktos off of a Winota trigger, you don't want it to hit 4, because if it hits 4, then their Winota that they played earlier or their Amori that they played earlier can block it. It does have protection from every other CMC except for the one that it rolls, whether that be 2, 3, or 4.
Okay.
Next card, Agent of Treachery, and this is why I think I won the tournament. Obviously, I did edit my deck compared to what Jeff Hoogland had up on his website, which basically every other Winota player played his variant plus or minus 1 card. Mine was his variant plus or minus, I think it was 4 cards and basically half the sideboard. So Agent of Treachery, wow. There is a reason why the Luca deck plays this card. It is so satisfying winning because you stole your opponent's piece of engine. For example, one of my rounds I played against Urian, Fires, Luca, etc. I stole his Fires. He could only do one thing the next turn, and then the following turn I was able to double Legion Warboss on turn 5 because of his Fires. Fantastic card. Good. Against another mirror, he got Winota out first, but had a lackluster 1 trigger. So then it was my turn. I played Winota, got an agent off of my 1 trigger, stole his Winota, sacked it to the Legend rule, and then, you know, swing past the turn. He did not have another Winota. On my turn, I swung and I won. And I think the best thing that you could possibly hit is Angrath's Marauders here. Now this card, wow, for 7 mana, makes sense. It's a 4/4 creature that, if it's on the battlefield, every creature deals double damage. Now, if you have a 0/3 Arboreal Grazer, it's still going to do 0. But you have your 1/1 Llanowar, that's 2. You have your Phoenix of Ash, that's 2, or maybe Pump to 3, that's doubled. You have Angrath's Marauders, which is a 4/4, that's doubled to an 8/8. And it's even better with Winota, where the guys that she gets off of the deck come in tapped, attacking, and indestructible.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
It's pretty insane, because if you grab that, then like everything's just doing an absurd amount of damage, and blocking is it's so less valuable.
Yeah, it's indestructible. Like usually you can't even block the Marauders because you'll die from the other guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Now for the lands, I did go up 1 land. I know you can't see all the lands here in the picture. Obviously there's going to be a Stream Decker list in the comments below. I went up to 25 lands. I thought it was too important to always hit that 4th land, regardless of if you have a land or else or not. And I found 24 lands like Jeff's list. Too many times I was on 3 lands or 3 lands and a Llanowar, but they know to kill the Llanowar, and I'm stuck there being able to win with the Winota in my hand, but I can't play it. So I thought 25 lands was paramount to my success.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
So that's pretty much the deck. The sideboard, you can see the Stream Decker below. Going forward, the one change that I will make, which Jeff pointed out, and I absolutely agree with him on, are adding Red Cap Melees. They are an instant speed form of interaction against creatures, and it deals 4 damage. Guess what? Winota is a 4/4. It kills Winota before the combat step starts. No triggers happen. So Red Cap Melee, I'd add into the board. Anything else?
Pretty hard. Not too much. I mean, but adding that 25th land, I mean that almost turns the Llanowars into bait for those kill spells for the other enemies' Bone Crusher Giants.
Yeah.
You know?
And Llanowar Elves being a non-human, the amount of times I waited an extra turn, or I needed to wait an extra turn to Fauna Shaman into a Winota, well, by that time, if I do have that 4th land, Llanowar Elves is swinging as a non-human. That's a trigger right there, which is really important. A lot of times in the games, you have to manage between when you play Winota, if you have those non-human triggers, versus not playing it, versus building your board, versus playing around if they're about to have it. It's a complex mess, and honestly, the best suggestion I have for you is just be luckier than your opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this deck is like going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Just dropping $100 on one hand of blackjack.
Yeah. It's
like
pretty cool.
It's so luck based.
Yeah. Jeff was talking on his stream about it should be called a Winota slot machine. Do I win? Do I win?
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of Agent of Treachery, since I played this, my list has gone out there, and other Winota players have played Agent of Treachery. One of my games, the day after, I was playing up against the mirror again, and I had Settle in my sideboard. I brought in Settle. I had the 4 lands. I had the 2 white, and how Winota's triggers are stacked is attacks are declared, attackers trigger Winota, the Winota triggers come in, and then after all those new dudes come in off the triggers, then I can settle. Normally, that's awesome, right? Like, I get all of the dudes at once with my settle. Well, because the dude was playing my list, he found an Agent of Treachery, he took my 4th land before I could even settle, and I just conceded. So that was insane. Using my own tech against me? How dare you, Magic? How dare you?
I mean, that is like the pinnacle of like being a good Magic player, though. You almost want that kind of stuff to happen, right?
I couldn't be too mad. I'll throw the clip at the very end here. Somebody clipped it on Twitch. But yeah, that's the deck tech. Thank you guys for tuning in, and remember to like, comment, and sub for your chance to win the $125 in cool stuff in credit. Thanks so much.
And don't forget, everyone, stay healthy and be safe.
Yeah, thanks. All out. Yep, like that. Hit everything, opponent. Now, there is one issue here. If he has Agent as well, God damn it. God